Hi, welcome to part 2 of our case study. I'm Tim Genge and I'm the Director of RealmSoft.
And I'm Claire Ostron, a Project Manager in the team. Immanus is our solution to vastly reduce the impact of IT change to the business, helping business change for the better.
As with episode 1, we're going to continue looking at the VPN client upgrade as our case study, this time using Immanus. The previous episode looked at the project performed using commonly used techniques and tools. Key points are the extensive mop-up phase, caused by failures and inherent duplication. This led to a 12-month project where most of our effort is spent scheduling users and chasing down the remaining clients. Let's take a quick spin through the approach using Immanus. First, we create our project, which includes definition of our scope. As we'll see later, this scope is automatic. We then deploy our project to every entity, in this case computers, in our environment. This is a once-only activity for the project. The business is engaged as a result of this deployment, providing valuable feedback as we enter our workshop. We create the technical solution using reuse of previous deployments or selecting from off-the-shelf tasks available in Immanus. We also define our schedules. Using our innovative self and business scheduling, we allow the users to choose when the implementation takes place. Immanus then performs the implementations at the moment specified by the end user, giving us success every time. We have almost entirely removed any need for a mop-up exercise. Our project only took us 3 months to complete. To put this into perspective, let's compare this with the previous effort. All elements have been significantly reduced, saving us 81% of the time. Sounds too good to be true, right? So how do we do it?
First, we create the project within Immanus. Next, we define our scope as part of the project creation process. In Immanus, a scope is one or more defined populations which come together with logic operators, such as and or not, to define a final target list. This can be computers or users.
The PM can then publish the project immediately, releasing the empty configuration to the target entities. Let's take a look at what that means. Immanus uses the defined scope to deploy the project configuration to the target computers or users. But what happens if the scope changes? Say a new computer coming into the scope. As the entity enters the scope, an event automatically fires, deploying the configuration to the new entity. In the same way, when an entity leaves the scope, the configuration is removed from it. Let's take a look at what the user sees. The user of the computer concerned will see a small pop-up informing them of the new change. If they want to see more, they can click on the notification to view the Immanus client user interface.
Here they can see their change pipeline, specifically tailored to them and their current computer. Let's take a closer look at the change pipeline. Users can see all the details the project management team entered about the change, including a disclaimer concerning its early phase.
Using this button, the user can like the change, which can be useful when trying to obtain sponsorship from senior management.
Users can also dislike a change and enter a reason why they're concerned.
Lastly, users can state they'd like to be considered as an early adopter for the change. That is, to become a pilot user, accepting the slightly increased risk of being a guinea pig.
Users are more and more tech savvy nowadays. Their private lives have rich, informative and engaging systems. They're ready to be engaged by their IT. We believe Immanus leads to enterprise-wide user engagement and empowerment. Gartner believes this is a key market trend, and we agree. And who'd have thought it? End users love it.
When we enter our workshop, we do so with a vast amount of data, risks and issues raised by any and all of our target user base, broken down by business unit. These grassroots users know what business processes rely on the elements being changed by our project. Using this data, our team can make far more informed decisions and can eliminate far more of the unknown unknowns.
Our technical solution makes use of our task delivery system. This deep system provides two key benefits during the technical design: reuse of tasks and configuration we've used in previous projects, and access to the off-the-shelf tasks created and tested by our engineers at Realmsoft. Let's take a look at how these are brought together.
In the Immanus admin interface, we create our configuration and start by defining a default schedule. Next, we select the tasks. In true Blue Peter style, we have some we've created earlier. Dragging these into our configuration, we can see more information about the tasks by simply clicking them, exposing the events, conditions and commands defined within them. We can see here that the VPN client installation task has an error on its events, namely, it doesn't have one defined. Opening the toolbox again, we can see a wide selection of events to choose from, a list we're adding to every month. In this case, we'll be selecting the immediate event.
Let's look how Immanus transforms scheduling and logistics.
The idea is to define what we call scheduling constraints for the system to auto-book and the end users to schedule themselves.
We start by defining our technical or project level constraints. These reflect what the organisation considers constraints preventing them from upgrading everyone today.
We'll mark January and December as no-goes, or exclude them, due to holiday change freeze. In addition, the service desk has told us they don't want any implementations on Fridays.
We also don't want to do more than 1,000 upgrades per day. Any more than that could expose the company if it went wrong. The scheduling constraint is published and reviewed by the business units via our web user interface. Business Unit A determines they would also like to exclude all the first Monday of every month, as it's when they create their business critical monthly reports. Every Monday in May is a planned audit, so they don't want that to be used. Lastly, they have an internal change freeze for August, so they go ahead and exclude that too. Since the business unit only has 500 people within it, a rate of 1,000 per day is far too much. They reduce this to 50 per day.
A team leader in the business unit now reviews the scheduling constraint. They have another audit taking place in the last week of June, so he excludes that. Since he only has 25 personnel, a rate of 50 per day is too much. He reduces the rate for his team to 5 per day.
These actions have all been performed directly in Immanus. We can now order Immanus to schedule all our users in the target scope using the defined constraints.
Every user enabled for self-scheduling will see a small notification appear, advising them of the new schedule for review. Clicking this will display the calendar view, showing their current slot, the available slots, and those that are busy and excluded. With a network connection, the user can click another available slot to be instantly and atomically rebooked within the system, updating immediately their actual deployment date.
As they approach the upgrade, the reminder defined by the project is displayed to the users. In this project, this is automatically being shown to any user who has used VPN on the computer. This is a rich dialogue, allowing us to show images and video to really get important information across. It can be configured with various behaviours to demand a response, or it can be more relaxed depending on the need. The response of the user is reported forensically back to Immanus, including how long they had it open. The installation then takes place at the specified time, on time, every time, with no involvement from any administrators. What's more, the success or failure of the implementation is instantly reported back to Immanus.
Post-upgrade, we ask the user for feedback via an unobtrusive prompt. Let's take a look at a great example of how Immanus brings all of this together, the project dashboard. This gives live, immediate data about your project directly to you. Here we can see the delivery progress, our implementation success since the project start, and the effect of our project on the target scope, which should drop if we're doing it right. We also have an interesting element at the bottom, the project end. We know the accurate scope and the schedule, and therefore we can estimate how long we have left. This also shows us how things have deviated and makes a good stab at what might have happened.
We can see just how well we're doing by viewing our feedback directly from the users as they're upgraded. We call this the happiness index. It's a great way to quickly pick up impact to business processes and respond proactively.
Here we can view our defined scope and how it's changed over time. You can see here we've increased our scope at various times during the life of the project, perhaps through the introduction of new business units. Down here we can see all project activity and changes posted by the system. When an administrator does something in Immanus that might affect our project, we can see it here. I hope you can see how incredible Immanus is and how it can revolutionise how you deliver change. We've covered a lot in this video. It's very important to realise this represents just the tip of the iceberg. Any change that impacts the user experience can benefit hugely from Immanus. Here's some real-world examples. An Active Directory migration, integration and asset separation as a result of acquisitions and sales, desktop brand management, VPN upgrades and Windows 7 upgrades, which is a key change driver. Immanus will be available as an easy-to-try, low-commitment cloud-based software as a service from Q1 2013, running on Windows Azure, or as a more traditional on-premise solution now. The choice is yours.
We've used Immanus in a major international bank on 60,000 computers running on a single server. We had some great feedback from the senior team.
Are you thinking it's time for change?
Call us now on 0845 528 0804 for next steps.
Or come and visit us on Facebook.
And thanks for watching.